Today we're going to be looking at how to pick ripe figs. I have a green variety and my tree grows about 7 feet tall every year from the ground up, and it's not always easy to tell by the color of the skin being green. If you look, sometimes they'll have a couple of spots of color, but mainly you want to look at how droopy they're hanging on the tree. It will change as they ripen, and how soft it is, not just at the bottom of the fig, but kind of around the stem. When you pick them, they should come off quite easily. It's hard to explain how to tell, but if you look, it's kind of drooping. I can lift it up and down. I try to get the stem intact. Didn't manage it on that one, which means I pretty much have to eat that one today. But it is quite soft to the touch, like a ripe peach, and the inside is sweet and juicy and full of seeds and a deep kind of pink color. This one I did manage to get the stem intact, so it will last a couple of days, especially if you refrigerate them. If you do buy a fig from the garden center, make sure to save the label and the name that you get. Mine, I didn't do that, so I'm not sure what variety it is. Do be careful because the leaves can leak latex onto your skin if you break them, and it can give you a little bit of an itchy irritation. Going back to this one, which almost looks past its prime, but is in fact delicious. So there's a couple of days in between being a colorful ripeness to being way too ripe. This one is actually perfect. It's gooey and juicy on the inside. Ripe figs are way more delicious than what you might find at the store that is not quite ripe. And the same tree has, even the same branch, ripens at different times. Here are some sliced open, very ripe ones. These ones taste very jammy and the seeds go almost to the edge. They are squishy and soft. My variety is green. It might be a Kadota with a K or possibly a tiger, but I don't see a big stripe on this. But for the most part, this one looks very nice. And then compare it with this rock hard, totally unripe one that I picked as an example. You can see the white part is a bright white as opposed to green, and it's actually still oozing the white latex from the inside as well as from the stem. This feels kind of like a really firm apple if you try to squeeze it, and is not going to taste good. The latex is not something that you particularly want to eat at all. So if you try one and it is like this, your figs are not ready. But they all ripen at different times, so you really have to look over your whole tree to see if you can find a soft one that is drooping down. The type of tree you have and your weather depends on when you will pick your ripe figs. Mine start in September and can go all the way until November if we don't have a frost. So it really varies. Mine is partially in the shade, and because of snow, does die back all the way to the ground. So if you don't have that issue, you might have a more established tree than I do. It does take at least 3 years when you plant it to really get fruit.